Morning, everybody out there in TikTok land. Oh boy, hope everybody's having a good morning so far. Some kind of mixed stuff going on from. I'll wait till some people join. Nobody's joined yet, so it's still at 0. So I'm waiting for people to join. Let's see. It is early in the morning, 6 a.m. Monday. Hope everybody had a great weekend. Looking at a couple of stocks here this morning. Kind of see how things look here. Somebody joined. Good morning, everybody. Hello. Say hello. Okay. Hi. Hello. How you doing? Good to see you. Okay. So we'll get to it. So I was looking at this Dawson's Geophysical that I was looking at. It's up 330% already this morning. Pretty crazy. Volume's good. It's at 20 million. But it's up $4.50 from $1 or something to $5.92, almost $6. So Dawson's Geophysical is it's actually a seismic agency that measures seismic activity in the ocean. So it's not necessarily tied in directly with oil, but it is in a way. However, oil's gone down today. I mean, I talked about this last week. I talked about this yesterday, actually. If you guys watched my TikTok last night or yesterday afternoon, you saw that I was discussing oil, the fact that, if there's bombing over in the oil fields over in Iran, then that's obviously going to affect crude prices here. But I'm reading this morning now, they're saying, it really hasn't affected anything. The oil prices are not really being affected. So my oil stock that I bought the other days went down, unfortunately. So if you guys did buy into USO, which is the oil stock that I mentioned to you guys yesterday, I wouldn't buy into it just yet because it might go down just a little bit more. But I'm selling a call on it anyway, so I'm going to bring in about $1,000 on the call that I'm selling. So hi, Sarah. Good morning. Morning, everybody. Thanks for joining me this morning. We're talking about this Dawson's Geophysical. Went up 336% this morning. Pretty crazy. Definitely crazy. So. 6 o'clock this morning it was up. Wow, that's crazy. But anyway, as far as that goes, there's no real actual news on Dawson's Geophysical as to why it went up as much as it did, but it did go up considerably. Obviously, it's been up, as I said, 339%. Then there's also something called Ocean Pal, okay, which another one that's also made a nice, healthy little jump this morning. So this is DWSN. And then Ocean Pal is OP. Both of them are kind of coming down a little bit now, leveling off, but Ocean Pal was up 76% so far this morning. It was up as high as 101% this morning. So what'll happen now is obviously some people will wake up, see that they made money on this and sell it, so that's obviously going to happen. You're so handsome. Oh, thank you very much, Sarah. Some people say that this robe makes me look fat. I disagree. I think my fat makes me look fat, but okay. Anyway, what are you guys looking at this morning? I know Palantir is also up, which obviously that's always good for everybody if Palantir's up. And then that crazy Circle Group, my God, that thing's up $140 from the $31 IPO last week or week before, whenever. Ridiculous. And of course, my IPO didn't go through. Otherwise, I would have had some serious cash. So AIRO stock. Oh, really? Oh, there's another IPO that I missed. Did any of you guys get into Aero? I think that was the one that just IPO'd here a few days ago. Yeah, it was. So $14, and it's up 17%. It's also coming down a little bit. Where are the futures at right now? Is it? Let's see. What implied open for NASDAQ is supposed to be up, actually. Okay. Just noticing some stuff here seems to be coming down a bit. But AIRO, did anybody of you guys get into it this last week? We're in a complacency phase. Really? Complacency phase. Okay. Well, I wouldn't call it complacency phase. I would call it cautious phase because of, nobody really knows with tariffs, especially this week with, the G7 is getting together this week. And then there's supposed to be like an actual decision, which it's not going to be a mystery, but the supposed decision that the Fed's going to make this week is going to be on interest rates, which obviously are not going to raise interest rates because jobless claims haven't gone up enough. Inflation hasn't spiked yet. It will because of the tariff nonsense. It's going to definitely spike, but it's not there yet. It just is what it is. So yeah, Aero Group's down actually a little bit, starting to go down. It's not down. I mean, it's up $4 a share, which is good. But anyway, my rocket, as I said, is Ocean Pal. So we'll see. They need to raise soon before inflation comes. Yeah, but that's not necessarily how it works. I mean, raising interest rates doesn't stop inflation. So the inflation has to level out, and then the jobless claims actually has to go up a little bit in order for him to lower interest rates. That's just kind of how that works. So they don't necessarily need to, and then Trump needs to keep his nose out of it. It's not up to the president as far as if interest rates go up or not. That's not a presidential thing. I know, he likes to think that he has something to do with everything, but as a couple people said this last weekend, you are not king, and he's not. So he needs, not that no other president has tried to get a Fed chairman to do what they want. I mean, Lyndon Johnson took the Fed chairman in the 70s and decided to take the Fed chairman to his ranch and ride him around in an ATV extremely fast, or a little dune buggy extremely fast, just to scare the shit out of him, to try to get him to lower interest rates. Yeah, President Johnson did that. So, yeah, I mean, not like presidents haven't tried to influence Fed chairman, but it doesn't work. So, why do you think Trump is pushing the market to all-time highs? It's not at all-time highs right now. Not there yet. He's not pushing it anyway. I mean, if anything, he's hurting it. He's the one who caused that big dip in April. I mean, because the tariff nonsense. There was no reason to do that. Now, was there a reason to have tariffs? Absolutely. Is there a reason to negotiate, and work on trade deficits? Of course, especially countries. But it's not like he's, didn't have a chance before too. Remember, he's been president before. There was the same trade deficits the 4 years he was president last time. There was no reason why he couldn't have had a more metered response to it. And especially these countries that, that like to, get a lot of, that like to sell a lot of our stuff, but they won't take our imports from us to them. And that's that. There's countries that are like that, and that's not appropriate. If we buy from them, they should be able to buy. They should be buying from us too. So do you think the market is just going to go straight up from here? No, I don't think it's going to go straight up. No, I mean if you look at things, I would say it's not complacency. I say it's I'm saying that it's caution because of the Trump nonsense, the tariffs and the way he did it. As I said, there's nothing wrong with tariffs, but it's just the way he did it. Scorched earth, like Doge did with laying a bunch of people off and then having to hire them back because they realized, oh, we actually need these people, which is just ignorance. That's just the stupidest, most unprofessional thing I think I've ever seen in government in my life. You're glad he's pushing what? I mean, he's pushing, pushing our economy down by doing what he's doing with this tariff nonsense. Now, today it looks like things are up a little bit. That's great. I guess I'm just a little bit nervous because it is the G7 and we don't know what Trump's going to come out and say. So we'll see. If he comes out and says, a bunch of nonsense about more tariffs, or somebody doesn't, because all that has to happen is, some world leader doesn't kiss the ring and say what a great guy he is, and suddenly he's going to, tariff the shit out of their nation. So, I mean, and that's the age we live in. He's a cult leader. He has a cult. He has cult followers that, in government, these people will absolutely never say no to him. And that's what a cult is, And you can say what you want. I don't care what your politics are. This is a fact, and it's happening all the time. Name one time that, in most of these Republicans, almost 95% of them, nobody said anything negative about Trump or turned towards him and said, nope, that's a bad idea. He's going to fuck up the G7 too. I'm sure he will. We'll see. I mean, I don't know. You know, as I said, I don't really care what the politics are necessarily. I just care how it affects the market, because that affects me and that affects how, you know, I make a living. So um, complacency is when people ignore risks and stocks continue to go up. I know that, and I don't think anybody, you know, if you're a professional trader, you never ignore risk. Okay, there's risk always. That's just the way it is. There's no such thing as ignoring risk, unless you don't want to make money. So yeah, I don't necessarily agree with that. So um, anyway, so yeah, crude's down. That sucks, because I really thought that you know, I know that they said I read that they had potentially bombed some of the oil infrastructure over there, but if they haven't, okay, but don't think they won't. They will. So yeah, we'll see. I worry about my retirement and investments. Yeah, I know. I get it. It's definitely worrisome, you know. So if you're, you know, as I tell people though, you know, just keep in mind that when it comes to those kinds of things, make sure you're diversifying. Don't put all your money in one place. That's the only bad thing about the 401k is it's all one place, you know. And then if that one place goes down, then you're fucked. You know, right now, I mean, I've got, you know, different chunks of money in different, you know, diversified ETFs. You know, one's in oil, one's in gold, one's in silver, one's in overseas stock or space exploration. I mean, all these different things. You know, different ones. So just be glad you didn't lose money. It's not a good feeling. No, it's not. I mean, silver, gold, yeah. I mean, my gold ETF's down a little bit today, it looks like, which is cyclical. I mean, this gold ETF kind of does that. It goes up and down, up and down. I'm down, all total, I mean, I'm down $28 today so far. I was up a little bit. I was up about 350, 400. Then I was down like 1,000, and yeah. So anyway, yeah, Arrow just sent me something saying, "Oh yeah, by the way, you didn't get your stock." Yeah, I knew that last week, idiot. Um, so as far as silver goes, it had went up this morning, went up a couple cents, went up to 15.13, then went down to 15.02, but it's still up 3 cents. My silver ETF, and then gold is down a little bit today. So I sold a call on it. I am when the market opens anyway. This call, you know, I did a $55 call on my gold ETF. It expires on Wednesday, so that's good. So it's only a 2-day call, $55, and it's at 53 right now, 53.69 right now. So I'm doing a call, and then we'll see how that goes. Okay, so hopefully they will buy it, and then my credit though is decent. So my credit's a little over 1,000, almost $1,100 to sell the call for gold. So that's good. And then yeah, it's $55 call, but they actually have to get to 56 something before it actually, you know, before they're going to actually do anything with it. That's their break-even point. So we'll see. As I said, I got $1,000 for doing that, and I also am selling a call on my oil, and that's going to be at an $80 call. It's at 79, but they have to get it to like 81.50 to break even. So, and that's $1,300 I'm getting for doing that. So that's $2,300 I'm going to make this morning from just selling calls that expire on Wednesday. So, and I mean, either one of them, if they sell and the person executes and they sell at a certain level, I'm still going to make money on it because it's higher than where I bought it. So I'm fine with that. So is gold a good investment? Oh yeah. I mean, I'll never say gold's not a good investment. You know, gold has its time, and it's, you know, and it's a good way to kind of hedge your bets. You know, if you're into Mag 7 and you're into these, you know, these stocks that, you know, that respond with S&P and with, you know, NASDAQ doing well and everybody's kicking butt and the market's doing well, then these Mag 7s usually do pretty well for the most part. But then, you know, you got something like the gold that might not be. So if everything else is doing well, then gold probably isn't doing well. Okay, as far as talking about the, you know, the overall stock market. But when the market's down, things aren't looking very good. The dollar, you know, if there's skepticism about the dollar, what does good? Silver, gold, that kind of stuff. And why is that? Because it's considered safe. Okay, gold is considered safe. and that's why it has that cyclical movement with and this year with all the craziness that's happened, it's obviously been a pretty good investment this year. Yeah, definitely. So Douglas Elliman. Okay, I don't know who that is. Are you up or down for the year? For the year, I think I'm still down a little bit. Yeah, I'm not down as much as I was. That's for sure. I was, yeah, after the April 4th, when the Trump nonsense happened, the tariff BS, I was down a shit ton. Year to date, I'm down 23,000 this year, which sucks. But I was down about 40. So, it's coming back. But it is what it is. So and that's just part of trading, but I diversified. So in other ways I made money. But as far as all in all, yeah, I'm still down a little bit, definitely down some from this year. So, but I mean, I've got, hundreds of thousands of dollars in there. So 23,000 is only about, a small percentage, about 8% of what I've got. So not a huge deal. A lot of people are down this year because of Donald. Yep, absolutely, because of the tariff nonsense. And the way he did it. It's not the tariffs. It's not tariffs in general. It's how he did it. Scorched earth, okay? And that's, that's a problem because the fact that there's nobody in his inner circle to stop him or get in his way or say, hey, why don't you think about that? No, there's nobody to do that like there was the first time. You had Maddox, you had Mattis, you had, these other guys that were around last time that, could say, hey, wait a minute, let's not do that. Let's think about this. There is none of that anymore. These people that are around him now are in a cult. And as a cult leader, you're not allowed to question your cult leader. You don't question your cult leader, period. And that's, is what it is. As soon as you do, he's going to get rid of you. He learned from the first time when he had people around him that actually had brains, that he doesn't want that. He wants sycophants, yes men only. So don't forget you can claim capital losses and write off the taxes $3,000 a year. I know that. Don't think I know that? Yeah, I know that. And but I've also had some gains in some stocks. I've had some gains. Well, for last year anyway. This year I don't know yet. The year's only half over what it's going to look like at the end of the year. Last year though, offset. I mean, I had some gains and some losses last year. So, but actually I was up probably about 50,000 last year, 55,000 last year. So it's pretty good. So I have some taxes to pay for last year, but that's fine because this year we'll see. Hopefully I can make the 23K back, but we'll see. Anyway, so as I said, what I was looking at here earlier was the Ocean PAL. It was my rocket that I was kind of looking at. Let's see what that thing's done. Let's see. Yeah, some of my stocks took a heart attack today. It's kind of crazy. So Ocean PAL. All right, let's see what that's done. So it's still at 281. It's still kind of foundering, meandering around. Yeah, and then there's Dawson Geophysical. It's went up 327% this morning. As I said, it's kind of funny because there's really no reason why Dawson's Geophysical is jumping like this morning, but it is tied into oil. But crude's down today, and my oil stock's down today. So my oil ETF's down today. So I don't know why Dawson Geophysical jumped like that. So, but it's yeah, had a high of $11.12. Holy shit! Yeah, it had a huge wow. It went up 700% this morning to $11.12 at 4 a.m. From $3.50 to $11. But then it's actually come down considerably since then. It's down to $5.88. So anyway, nobody really knows why it's doing that, other than just who knows? They have a little bit of a tie to the oil industry, so maybe that has something to do with it. They don't really know. But yeah, Dawson's Geophysical is definitely considerably up. And then Palantir's up, which is also good. Love to see that because Palantir is kind of, the next NVIDIA, I think. I think D-Wave still will be eventually. It's just not quite, hasn't really found its footing just yet, like Palantir and NVIDIA have. But Archer Aviation's up a little bit, and that's one of your guys' favorites too. Archer Aviation are the one obviously going to make one of the robo-taxis. Still not too sure how I feel about that. I had my Uber driver the other day just about killed us on the road. So I'm not too sure about, it just kind of depends on what they're going to do with, what they're going to do with that. Are they going to have actual people in there? Are these robos only going to be, robotic taxis? Are they going to have taxis that are going to have people in it? I don't know. It makes me a little bit nervous, especially having these things flying in the sky, automated. That's pretty scary. So AIRO moved up another 7% in the last few minutes. Crazy. Oh, did it again? Really? Yeah. I just got something in my little mailbox here on Robinhood saying that, I didn't basically give me this prospectus or whatever about AIRO Group Holdings and this and that. Because they said I tried to get into it last week when it IPO'd, and I'd had it at like $11 a share. But when it first came out, it was, I had a 12 a share, and it first came out, the first spot was $14.19. So I missed it by a couple of bucks. And just, whatever. It's IPOs. It is what it is. Sometimes you get it, sometimes you don't. You never know. They got another one, coming out here pretty soon. It's going to be another one tied to, I can't remember what the name of it is. I'll have to look it up. Another one tied to crypto that's going to be coming out pretty soon. That one's probably going to be a big deal as well. Then I don't know if you saw, but of course, Trump is trying to bring out an Ethereum Bitcoin combined ETF, which of course is illegal but he's a cult leader, so he's going to do what he wants. He's a king, so he's going to do whatever he wants, even though it's highly illegal for him to be making money like this off of being president. But he's a crook, and that's what he's done. He's always been a crook. He always will be a crook. So anyway, all right, that's about all I've got today. If you guys don't have anything else, I'm going to get going. Market's about to open in 4 minutes. They said my a couple Dawson's Geophysical and the Ocean Pal are the two that I was looking at today. Do you learn more from your losses or more from your wins? As I say, if you win some and you learn some, and that's very true. I learn a lot more from my losses, obviously, but of course you win. You learn from your wins too. What works? I mean, you want to learn what doesn't work, but you want to work where it does work. If you only have losses, then you don't need to be in the stock market. I've had some great wins, but I've had some great losses. And that's what brings you to, being a professional after a while, which prevents you from having too many awful losses. They said I lost 23,000, but I know more than $250,000 in there. So losing that is only 10%. That's not that big of a deal. I mean, it sucks, but but that's how you keep from losing all of it. And that would really suck. So anyway, all right. So I will get going now. You guys have a great day trading. Be careful out there. They said don't freak out too much because I know, the oil's down a little bit. I was talking about it yesterday. Gold's down a little bit. I've been talking a lot about that, but, I wouldn't freak out too much. Maybe sell a call. Not advice, just what I'm doing right now. I'm selling a call on my my oil, and I'm selling a call on my gold. So it's about $2,400 I'm going to make this morning from just selling calls. So, nothing wrong with that. So it's good passive money. But, and then the call expires in 2 days. So we'll see what happens. But anyway, all right. You guys have a great day. All right.